there's more risk in not doing than doing, especially when you realize what you're capable of.
We are joined today by two wonderful gentlemen. We've got Garrett and Miles Gastel. These are amazing individuals.
I'm using the equity in the policy to create equity in other assets. I guess you could say I'm betting on myself and the success of my business. I would describe the first 5 years as just all gas and building. So I would say I'm probably not the golden child of um, paying it back at this point, but I don't really care because I know what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is I'm building a banking system that can support my future business, essentially. So I've utilized it a lot for like dumping in like the sale of the house and pulling out money and remodeling the house. So I'm using it to create equity like in other places. Um, and in the building stage, that's the best way I can describe it. And so I feel like, especially recently, I looked at it and I looked at my policies with Garrett, and my concern at this point is more so that I don't have a big enough system to support my future growth. So, like, I was looking at my yearly premiums after all my riders fall off in, a couple years, and I'm like, that's it. Like, I need to keep growing this thing. So that's kind of been like, I guess my goal at this point is building both those things in tandem. And I mean, I guess you could say I'm betting on myself and my business and the success of my business to be able to support that. And um, so, but more practically, I've put money in and I've pulled it out for, like I said, like house remodels. So again, kind of comes back to like I'm using the equity in the policy to create equity in other assets, right? Like in houses. But what I've kind of shifted to recently is like building equity in the business, and then also just building as much equity within the policies as I can. So that's another kind of shift that I've taken recently is with I guess everything going on in the world and in real estate. Like real estate was so hot for so long. And I've looked at a bunch of deals. Like I want to build an office for my company, but even self-performing, the GC work, like the nothing pencils right now. Like you just have to have such scale or such like a good deal for something to work. So what I've kind of shifted to is like, okay, if I can build up equity within the policies and almost treating them, looking at them like, a hard asset, like a house or a plot of land or something like that, because that is what you're doing is you're building equity within it essentially. So kind of just doing that in tandem with the policies and then also just dumping everything and growing a business. So
Okay, so you want to keep the wealth in the family. I get it. I hear you. Me too. That's why we wrote this book, Don't Spread the Wealth. Everyone tells you that you want to spread the money, spread the wealth around. No. You don't want to do that. You want to keep the money in the family with the people you love and care about where it belongs for as many generations as possible. That's what we talk about in this book. In this book, we have an incredible 15-page bonus you can download, which instructs you on how to start the conversation with your family on annual family banking meetings, how to host them, some sample exercises, and a sample agenda, tons of amazing, great benefits. Go ahead, get a copy right now. Head on over to Don't Spread Wealth. That's don'tspreadwealth.com. Don'tspreadwealth.com. You're going to love it.
I love
okay, go
that,
ahead.
Miles, and I just like watching you grow too. Like I've watched Richard when we first started implementing infinite banking. We were both W-2 employees, and I've gotten front row seats to seeing Miles make the leap into entrepreneurship. And I think one of the things that everyone who meets Miles and says this about him, like he just has the grit and like belief that he's going to succeed. And I would say, Miles, you said a couple minutes ago that you know, you're betting on yourself, but like you're strategically betting on yourself. Like you do have a plan for building up those policies and you know the things you have coming down the pipeline in your commercial business. yeah, you're going to need a bigger system soon, right? So I
Yeah.
think it's been really cool to see you kind of make that strategic leap, and also just uh, inspired me about jumping out on my own too. And you can't fail. Like, you just have that attitude, like, I'm not going to fail, and I think that really shows. So it's really cool to see
Yeah.
that in your banking journey and your business too.
It doesn't feel risky. I'll just say that. Like it's calculated. I guess to me, what I've like the shift that I've taken is there's more risk in not doing than doing, especially
Mhm.
once you realize what you're capable of. So that's been a big like mindset shift. Like there was more risk for me staying where I was at,
Mhm.
doing what I was doing. So that's been the biggest, I think, shift in all this is what is the opportunity cost essentially of staying where I was at. So my goal now essentially is to, like I said, build a contracting business alongside my banking business. And I think the banking is more profitable at the end of the day. So
Go ahead, check out the next video down below. And if you want to make sure you get a copy of Don't Spread the Wealth so you can have family banking meetings that actually matter, go to don'tspreadwealth.com. Don'tspreadwealth.com.